waking up just another lost and lonely one.
Everyone, and welcome to Bangkok. Welcome to DuneCon2024. All right, let's go. At Dune, our mission is to make crypto data accessible. And the theme of today is making multi-chain data accessible. So we have gathered top founders of chains, protocols, top data analysts and data minds across the space to look into and discuss and look at the charts and look at the data for the multi-chain world. At DuneCon last year, we supported 12 chains on Dune. And since then, we've been busy building. So, this is the number of chains that we've added per quarter. And about a year ago, you can see that we had about one chain added per quarter. And fast forward to this quarter, Q4 2024, we're adding 14 chains to Dune in one quarter. I did consider making this like a cumulative chart, but I was a little concerned that I would be like handcuffed and brought off the premises for my chart crimes. So this is what we have. All right, so in October alone, we have launched Say, Stellar, World Chain, B3, Near, and Kaya on Dune. And we're not stopping there. Today we are announcing that Ronin is live on Dune, so you can now analyze the biggest gaming chain on the biggest data platform in crypto. Round of applause, please. And more chains are around the corner. So, we will have Abstract, Berachain, Baba, Flare, Lens, Sonic, Ton, Unichain, and Viction coming to Dune in a very short amount of time. Exciting stuff. So, by the end of the year, we expect to have 93 chains live on Dune. Bit of a jump from the 12 we had a year ago. So clearly, we are making multi-chain data accessible, but we're not only putting it on Dune, we're also making it easier to work with this data on Dune. So today we're going to announce a lot of improvements to the creator experience on Dune. First out is multi-chain decoding. So previously, if you wanted to analyze a smart contract on Dune, you had to submit one contract for each chain. Now we're launching one way for you to submit contracts for all chains. So there's one process for getting contracts into all kinds of chains. And more importantly, this allows you to query one single event table across all chains. So instead of unioning together a bunch of different tables, you can just query one for multi-chain events. So as our friend Kofi puts it, he's somewhere here, multi-chain tables cut down the lines of code I have to write by 10x, so massive UX improvement. This is launching today across 10 plus chains with Uniswap, Lido, Safe, and Sora, with much more to come in the near future. Furthermore, we've now integrated AI into all analyst workflows. So you can, for instance, start your query, you can bootstrap your query with some natural language, just get the thing going. Then you can edit SQL, you can debug it. When something goes wrong, you can easily, natively just click the button and it will debug for you. And you can explain the query, your own query, other people's queries. And what we're seeing here is the UI for the edit. And the great thing here is you don't need to leave the app to see what's happening. You basically have inline code changes that you can see, you can accept and reject. So you can really tinker super fast with AI natively into your workflow. And we think all of these features make analysts super productive on Dune, and you can work much faster. But also, even if you don't know SQL or on-chain data that well, it means you can do a lot more with Dune. So we think this is going to be a total game changer. Furthermore, we're launching today a new labels dataset that we've been working on for months. And we're really proud of this one. It has 15 million addresses across 40 different categories with 7,500 entities tagged. So basically, you don't need to just look at these abstract addresses. You can now join with this dataset and really get a sense of who's behind what on-chain. Another dataset we're launching today is a new USD prices table with 65 times as many tokens covered. So the old Dune data, prices data, had 2,800 tokens covered. Now we are at 180,000 tokens. It's industry-leading coverage, and it really means you can get the right volumes across a long tail of assets, and it's going to be a total game changer for what you can do with volumes and transactions and these things and get the right USD prices for them. Another one that's much requested, and I'm excited to announce, is that we are launching pivot tables, as we like to say. Thank you, yeah. So the revolution will not be reported quarterly, but it will definitely be reported in pivot tables. And with pivot tables, you have an amazing flexible way of slicing and dicing data, grouping it, nesting it, presenting it in all kinds of ways. And it's super interactive and great for the consumer as well. And we're confident that this will be used a lot for various use cases, but in particular, financial reporting. You get this real-time on-chain data straight into a financial report is pretty amazing. We also recently launched query lineage, which makes it super easy to understand where your data is coming from, which queries you're referencing, which other queries and tables you're referencing. So this really makes it easy to get context for everything that's going on. And then another one that's been requested a lot that we're excited to announce today is a new $45 a month analyst plan. So this will allow analysts to be super productive on Dune without breaking the bank. It comes with more concurrent queries, and it's a really exciting addition to the sort of paid plan lineup. Thank you. All right, now let's shift gears a little bit. One question I often ask myself is, how are we really doing as an industry? Like, you have all these prices going up and down, you have hypes, narratives, all these kinds of things, and then I wonder, like, how are we actually doing? What does the data tell us? And typically, the current measures of adoption we think are pretty flawed. So basically, these are the things that people typically reference when you're trying to figure out, oh, how are we doing? So prices, total value locked, and active addresses. And let's go through them. So prices is obviously like super prone to speculation and very much independent of adoption. It's not like if prices are going up, obviously, we're in a better space where a bunch more people are using these products. So clearly not a great metric. Then you have the much referenced total value locked TVL. And that has a bunch of flaws. So one is, it's often the irrelevant KPI for the product in question. There's a bunch of different products being built on chain, and oftentimes this is just not the right way of looking at those products. Furthermore, it's of course very whale sensitive. So if some big fish comes in and out, it will move this metric a lot. And that doesn't really tell you much about adoption. It's also extremely prone to airdrop farming, points hunting, all of these very inorganic activities that doesn't, it's not adoption, it's just people coming in and gaming the system. And lastly, of course, it also promotes capital inefficiency, which is not a great thing to sort of try to optimize for when you're building a financial system. So all in all, we think there's like, it kind of doesn't really make sense that this is the way we look at it. And then you have active addresses, which is kind of meant to mean like active users, but according to a recent estimate by A16Z, basically only like 15 to 30% of active addresses are actual users. Like, it's extremely prone to bots. Most people have multiple wallets, so this is also just like not a great metric of understanding or measure of understanding how we're doing. So we've been asking ourselves, can we do better? We have all this amazing on-chain data. Can we figure this out in a better way? Is there a more accurate way of getting and assessing on-chain adoption? So today we're introducing Dune Metrics, which is a clean overview of true on-chain adoption. So let me break it down. We have 3 key adoption metrics that we will be tracking. So there's transaction fees, transfer volume, and transaction count, which we think are better measures of on-chain adoption. We will start with having this for 21 chains, including Bitcoin, Solana, Tron, and the whole Ethereum ecosystem. So let's look at each one of them. So transaction fees is a really great metric because it really tells you something about the willingness to pay for getting on-chain. So it's literally money spent writing to blockchains, which obviously tells you something about the demand for these systems, and it's really hard to game because people really do spend their dollars or their coins to get onto the chain. So I think this is a very important metric for the industry. So how is it doing? Well, in October, there was $330 million spent writing to chains. And if you annualize that, you multiply it by 12, you get a run rate of about $4 billion. Okay, so how much is $4 billion? Well, OpenAI's estimated 2024 revenue is $3.7 billion. So basically, the willingness to pay and demand for OpenAI's products and services this year is about the same as the willingness to pay for getting onto blockchains this year. Then we have transfer volumes. So how much value is being moved on blockchains? And this one, we filter for real activity. So we only take the net effect of a transaction, and we also filter out sort of same entity transfers and things like that. So we get the real activity. And in October, $560 million was transferred on blockchains. And that gives us an annualized run rate of 6.7 trillion. So again, how much is really that? Well, in 2023, Visa reported that they had $12 trillion of volume. So essentially, blockchains facilitate over half of what Visa does, and obviously blockchains are new emerging systems, and Visa is a giant. So already this is at a pretty substantial scale. The last metric we have is activity level in the way of transaction count. And this one we also filter for real activity. And this tells you something about the engagement level, how much stuff is being done on chain. And in October alone, there was 666 million transactions happening on chain. And as you can see, the chart is up and to the right. This year it's been growing a lot. So as gas fees has been coming down, transaction counts is going up. So we think together, these three metrics, transaction fees, transfer volume, and transaction count, give us a great sense of real adoption on chain. But we were thinking, can we make it even easier? Can we make it even easier to just get a sense of how are we actually doing? So we are also introducing today a unified on-chain adoption index that we call the Dune Index, which is taking all these metrics together to give you one single measure of how we're doing and whether we're growing. So the Dune Index looks like this, and it's essentially a composition of these three metrics. So you have mostly fees and transfers, and then a little bit of transactions, which creates this metric. We've benchmarked it to 1st of January 2018, where the value is 10. And then you can see that in the peak of 2021, we were at 83, and right now we're at 55. And this year has been a good year for on-chain adoption. So basically, this is a way to get a pulse check of just are we going up or are we going down? Are more people using the systems? And we think this will be a super clean and easy way for you to get an answer to that question. All of these metrics you will find in a very easy-to-use way where you can filter for time, break down by blockchain, you can do different time periods. And as always with Dune, you can fork it, you can inspect it, you can remix it, you can make your own version, join it with other things. So it maintains all the flexibility and composability of Dune. Every single metric has a chain leaderboard, so you can see how different blockchains contribute to that metric. And this is live on Dune.com right now, so you can go and measure on-chain adoption, and with that, I hope we can all grow on-chain adoption together. Thank you so much.
One more thing. Hello, everyone. I'm Mats. I'm the co-founder and CTO of Dune. And as Fredrik mentioned earlier today in his talk, Dune's mission is to make crypto data accessible. The theme of the day is to make multi-chain data accessible. Well, for a lot of us in this room, that means that the data is available on Dune.com for analytical purposes. Today, we're taking a step further and expanding our mission to include developers. I'm introducing Echo. Echo is Dune's real-time multi-chain developer platform. It launches today with two APIs, token balances and transactions. And coming soon, you'll have wallet activity and indexing to get instant protocol APIs for your app. Echo aggregates data from more than 30 EVM chains into a single request, allowing for unprecedented developer experience. In one request, data from 30 EVM chains. We have dedicated endpoints for SVMs, starting with Solana. We've also crafted a React hooks package that makes it super easy to get started with Echo. Let's look at it. On Dune.com/Echo, we've created a simple example app. You can connect your wallet, and you see the token balances changes. And these update in real time. These are my OP holdings on the OP stack, and you can see that it's augmented with price and value and other metadata. This is our transactions API, where we list all your transactions from and to across 30 networks in one. The last thing that happened to me was receiving something on Base. These APIs are real-time and reorg aware. And when I say real-time, I mean 200 milliseconds from a block has been propagated through the network until it's available in our APIs, like an Echo. They're lightning fast. Our P90 response times are less than 300 milliseconds, making these APIs the fastest in the industry. The best part, you can use Dune Echo today. We've built alongside and with some of the industry's leading teams, and if you go to Dune.com/Echo, you can use any Dune API key to get started. Thank you.
One more thing. So, we've been fetching on-chain data for about 6 years at Dune. And a little while ago, I became aware of this amazing new way of doing that. Someone built a truly game-changing new way of getting on-chain data. There's been a lot of people trying at this problem in various ways, but this is the most visionary and novel approach I have ever seen to that problem. And the company that built this is called SMLXL. So what has SMLXL built? SMLXL has built a highly parallelized, instrumented version of the EVM. An extremely performant and novel new way of getting data out of Ethereum and EVM nodes. Their main product is called SIM, which you might have seen. They've also built evm.storage and evm.codes. And it's all built by this same extremely performant engine. And essentially what it allows you to do is to emit any EVM data in real time from the nodes. It's a mind-blowing thing. It's totally radically new and extremely exciting. And today, as you might already expect, I'm excited to announce that Dune is acquiring SMLXL, and we will be joining forces to serve you the best on-chain data you can together. So with Dune and SMLXL joining forces, you can expect on-chain data that is real-time, extremely deep and flexible, and of course, truly multi-chain. So this will allow you to build production-grade APIs, real-time data for smart contracts with insanely fast backfills and data at the tip for any data you want from smart contracts. You will also be able to query on-chain data with unprecedented depth on Dune.com. And you will be able to stream data into any database that you desire, any system. All of this is coming. It's going to be totally game-changing. We're extremely excited about it. There's more to come. All right, so to sum up what we've talked about today, we have today announced 10 new chains on Dune. We have done massive improvements to the creator experience on Dune. we just announced Echo, the real-time multi-chain developer platform. And to accelerate the features of Echo and of Dune all over, we are acquiring SMLXL to give you bleeding-edge on-chain data technology. All right, so that's it. Thank you so much. Thanks for having us and having amazing DuneCon. Yeah.